My beloved, have you ever stood on the edge of a dream, heart aching with the hope that maybe, just maybe, this time it might come true, only to feel that hope pulled from your hands like sand, slipping through your fingers? I watched you in that moment. I was there when you closed your eyes and imagined a different life, one more aligned with what I whispered to your heart so long ago. And I was there when the weight of the world pressed down, making you wonder if that dream was just a child's fantasy, something meant for someone braver, more qualified, less broken. But listen to me now, because this is not a fantasy, it's not a delusion. It's a seed I planted in you, and what I plant, I intend to bring to life. You may have forgotten, but I haven't. You may have set it down, buried it beneath the rubble of disappointment and delay, but I have kept it safe. Dreams given by me don't expire. They don't die with time. They wait. They wait for the right soil, the right moment, the right version of you. I know what I placed in you, and I know what it took to protect that dream even when the world pulled you in the opposite direction. You've walked through fire. You've endured winters that felt endless. You've questioned me, and I never left. Not once. You didn't fail the dream. It simply wasn't time yet. You confuse silence with abandonment, but my silence has never meant absence. It means trust. It means preparation. When I seemed quiet, I was working behind the scenes, healing wounds you didn't know were bleeding, redirecting paths that would have stolen your peace, shielding you from battles you weren't yet ready to fight. I've never been late. What feels like delay to you is divine pacing, because what I do in you matters just as much as what I do for you. You look around and see others running ahead, achieving, celebrating, thriving, and in comparison you feel small, stagnant, forgotten. But comparison is a thief. It blinds you to the truth. You are not behind. You are not late. You are on a sacred timeline that no one else can walk. The way I have designed your life is not a copy of someone else's. It is a masterpiece, unfolding one brushstroke at a time. I see the frustration in your waiting, but I also see the faith that refuses to die. That quiet hope, that's me, alive in you still. Some dreams look dormant because they've gone underground. What you thought was death was just planting, and planted things don't disappear, they prepare. You've been in preparation. Every hardship, every setback, every season that felt barren was a tilling of the soil in your soul. I wasn't punishing you. I was deepening your roots, because what's coming needs depth. It needs character that doesn't shake when storms arrive. You asked me for something great, didn't you? Great things take time. I am not in a rush because I'm building something that will last. You've told yourself you're too old, too tired, too late. You've let shame dress up like wisdom and convince you to settle. But let me be clear, I don't call the qualified. I qualify the called. And you are still called. The dream still calls your name because it's tied to your purpose. And purpose doesn't disappear because of age or circumstance. It waits for your yes. Even a quiet yes. Even the yes through tears. I never needed perfection from you, just permission. And when you give it even trembling, I move mountains on your behalf. You may not see how it all connects yet. That's okay. Faith isn't seeing the whole picture. It's trusting the artist. I am the artist, and you are my beloved masterpiece in progress. You don't have to understand it all. You just have to keep walking with me. One step, one breath, one prayer at a time. And I will take care of the timing. I will take care of the doors. I will take care of what you can't control. You are not alone in this. I've been with you the entire time, holding the blueprint, watching the clock, making a way. Some of the pain you've walked through wasn't meant to stop you. It was meant to shape you, because I know what the dream will require of you. I know the strength it will take to sustain it, I know the voices you will need to ignore, the courage you will need to carry. That's why I allowed the wilderness. Not to harm you, but to harden your resolve. To teach you to hear my voice above the noise. To make you brave. You thought the dream disappeared when life got hard. But I say, the hard places are what made you ready. Do you still want it? It's not a trick question, I ask. Not because I doubt you, but because I want you to remember the fire. I want you to remember how your heart beat faster when you thought about the possibilities. I want you to see yourself the way I see you. Capable, chosen, not forgotten. The world told you to shrink. I say, rise. The world told you to give up. I say, begin again. I never said it would be easy, but I promised it would be worth it. I promised I would go with you, and here I am, still calling you forward, still whispering life into what you thought was dead. Your dream is not gone. It's waking up. So take the next breath. Take the next step. Let hope live again. You are not too far gone. The dream is still possible, and I am still with you. You've carried the weight of waiting for so long that it started to feel normal, like a second skin you forgot you were wearing. But I see the ache beneath your strength. I see how you've smiled on the outside, while privately, wondering if maybe you misheard me. If maybe the dream you once held with joy was just your imagination running wild. You've doubted yourself, doubted me, even doubted whether dreams matter anymore when bills need paying and people expect things from you that leave little room for wonder. But I want you to hear me clearly now. Your dream was never random. It is holy. It is marked by me. And it still matters deeply, not just to you, but to the kingdom I'm building through you. You think I chose someone else, don't you? That while you were busy wrestling with fear, I moved on and handed your calling to someone bolder. But I don't move like that. I don't abandon the vessels I've shaped in secret. You're not second choice. You're not a placeholder. You're the plan. I've been crafting your story with intention, even in the chapters that looked like detours. What you call delay, I call development. What you see as stuck, I call stillness with purpose. Even the roads you thought were wrong turns, they led you right into my presence. That dream is not off track. It's just not done yet. There's been pain along the way, I know. Loss that made you question your worth. Doors that slammed hard and left bruises you're still learning how to heal from. People who didn't believe in you, and words that stuck in your spirit like thorns. But you need to know none of those wounds disqualify you. If anything, they've made the soil richer. I don't waste anything. Not heartbreak, not failure, not even your own mistakes. I redeem it all. Every scar tells me you survived what was meant to destroy you. And surviving has made you strong enough to carry what I'm about to pour out. You may think you've changed too much since the dream first came to life. Maybe you're not as enthusiastic as you used to be. Maybe you're more cautious now, more grounded. But let me assure you, those changes haven't diminished the dream. They've refined your readiness. What felt like decline was actually maturity. You've learned how to persevere. You've discovered who you are when nothing seems to be working. That's gold to me. I don't just want to bless you, I want to bless through you. And that requires a heart that can hold both joy and weight, both vision and humility. Do not be afraid of dreaming again. I know the last time hurt. I know hope felt risky, like leaning on a branch you weren't sure could hold your weight. But this time, it's different. This time, you're not starting from scratch. You're building from experience. You know me better now. You trust deeper even if you don't always feel it. And I'm not asking you to leap blindly. I'm inviting you to walk with me, one obedient step at a time. I will light the way. You don't have to chase the dream. Just follow me and you'll find it again. Remember the passion that once stirred you awake at night, that vision that made your heart burn, I put that there. I placed eternity in your heart, not to torment you, but to anchor you, to remind you that you were made for more than survival. You were made to create, to build, to love with reckless faith. That dream is a piece of me and you, a reflection of my creativity, my purpose, my joy. And I'm not asking you to revive it on your own. I will breathe life into it again, just like I breathed life into you. Sometimes it's not about having all the answers. It's about giving me your yes, even when you're afraid. And you have. You've given me your tears, your confusion, your longing. I've held it all, and I honor every moment you kept believing, even quietly, even when it seemed foolish to others. Your faith has not gone unnoticed. Your obedience, even in small things, has moved my heart. And now I'm moving on your behalf. The shift you've been waiting for, it's beginning even if you can't see it yet. Keep walking. Keep trusting. I'm not done writing. You don't need to manufacture momentum. You don't need to force open what I haven't yet unlocked. Your job is not to make it happen. It's to be ready when it does. So stay close to me. Listen for my voice. Let me guide the pace. I haven't forgotten what I promised you, and I haven't changed my mind. Your dream is still possible because I am still God, and nothing is too hard for me. You've walked through long nights, but morning is coming. Hope is rising. The vision may have tarried, but it was never denied. I've been faithful, and I will be faithful still. This isn't the end. This is the reawakening. And I'm asking you now, will you believe again? There are parts of your story that even you have tried to forget. Places where you buried not just dreams, but pieces of your identity. Times when you let go, not because you wanted to, but because you didn't see another way. And I grieved with you. I held you close when you felt abandoned by the very things you thought were signs of your purpose. You asked, why would you give me a dream, only to let it fall apart? But what you saw as the end was never the final word. It was me, pruning what could not carry fruit, making space for what would last. Because I love you too much to let you build a life on ground that won't hold. Even when you walked away from the dream, I didn't walk away from you. My commitment to you is not based on how perfectly you follow or how consistently you believe. It's rooted in my nature, which is unchanging, unwavering, and eternally faithful. I have pursued you in your wandering, whispered to you in your restlessness, and waited with you in the silence. I know how deeply you long to see something beautiful rise from the ruins, and I want you to know. I'm not just rebuilding what was lost. I'm creating something greater than what you imagined. It's okay to admit that you've grown afraid of dreaming. That part of your heart has been bruised by too many disappointments, too many moments where what you hoped for crumbled just when it seemed within reach. You've told yourself not to get your hopes up because the fall would hurt too much. But let me speak to that fragile place in you now. I'm not asking you to hope in outcomes. I'm asking you to hope in me, because I am not the same as the losses you've endured. I am not like the people who didn't believe in you. My promises are not broken by delay, and my plans are not ruined by detours. There's more ahead for you than you realize. I see what's coming even when you can't, and I'm guiding you not with pressure, but with promise. Every step forward is shaping the terrain of your destiny, even the ones you take trembling, even the ones that feel like wandering. I work through movement, not perfection, through trust, not certainty. So even if you're unsure of where this road is leading, walk it with me, and you will not be lost. I never told you that the dream would unfold all at once. I never asked you to carry it in your own strength. That was never the design. The design was always for us to walk it out together, one act of obedience at a time. Some doors opened quickly, yes, but others stayed closed, not to punish, but to protect. Not everything that glitters was meant for you, and I know which blessings will sustain you and which would distract you from the deeper joy I long to give. What feels like restriction has often been mercy, and I want you to see that even the no's were part of my yes. You have changed through the waiting. You've gained something sacred in the stillness, a wisdom, a steadiness, a quiet strength that wasn't there before. That is not failure, that is fruit. You're learning to hear me in deeper ways. You're learning to rely on peace that doesn't come from circumstances, but from me alone. And that growth, that's the very thing that will support the dream when it begins to unfold in front of you. You may think you need to have everything figured out before you move, but the truth is, most of my miracles begin with a simple yes. A willingness to step forward even before the sea parts, like when Peter stepped out of the boat. Not because the water looked safe, but because I was the one calling him. You don't need all the answers. You just need to remember who is asking you to believe again. And I am asking, not because I want something from you, but because I want something for you. I want you to taste the joy of partnering with me again. I want you to feel the wind of my spirit move through your life, breathing color into what felt gray, reviving what you thought was too far gone. I want to restore not just the dream, but your confidence that I still speak, still move, still love you deeply. You may not even realize how far you've come already. There were moments you could have quit, but you didn't. You still whispered prayers. Even if they were broken, you still hoped in quiet corners of your heart. That matters to me. Every small act of faith counts in my kingdom. Nothing is wasted, not even your waiting, especially not your waiting. So let this be your moment of reawakening, not because you have everything in place, but because you've decided to believe that I am enough, that my timing is perfect, that my presence is the safest place for your dreams to live. Come back to that place of trust. Come back to the dream, not as it once was, but as it will be, stronger, deeper, more aligned with who you've become. The weight of delay has a voice, and I know you've heard it. It says you're too late, that your chance passed while you were busy surviving the storm. It accuses you of wasting time, of missing the mark. But that voice does not speak for me. I don't accuse, I restore. I don't shame, I redeem. I don't remind you of lost time to make you mourn it. I remind you so I can show you how I'm folding even the years of loss into your destiny. Nothing has been wasted. Not a single breath, not a single step, not even your pauses. I am the author, and I don't write tragedy without resurrection. The story of your dream is not a tale of failure, it is a testimony in the making. You've looked at others and wondered how they arrived at places you only dreamed of, and I understand how that comparison tries to strangle your joy, how it creeps in when no one's watching. But hear me, what I have for you is yours alone. No one can take it, no one has stolen your future. The blessing assigned to your name is still on its way, and it has not been delayed in vain. I do not operate by earthly calendars. When I move, it's not about acceleration, it's about fulfillment. The world rushes, but I build on rock, not sand. And I've been building you, even in the quiet places where no one saw. You've been faithful with what little you had. You've loved even when you felt empty. You've served in shadows, praised through pain, hoped in silence. That is not weakness. That is strength in its truest form. The kind of strength I treasure. Because you trusted me with your heartbreak, I will trust you with the weight of glory. This dream, this calling, it's more than a desire. It's a reflection of my heart beating inside of yours. That's why it still lives, no matter how much you've tried to ignore it. You were created to carry something eternal, and eternity doesn't fade just because time has passed. You might ask, but how can I begin again? I've lost so much. To which I say, you haven't lost me. And if you have me, you have everything you need to rise again. I am the one who brings water from the rock, life from dry bones, and hope from ashes. I don't need favorable conditions to move. I just need your yes. And you don't have to roar your yes to be heard. Even a whisper will do. Even the lifting of your eyes one more time. Even the simple prayer, God, help me try again. I hear it. I respond. I draw near. Don't worry about how far the path seems from here. You're not walking alone. I'm beside you, and I'm also before you, preparing the ground. I've gone ahead to open the doors, to soften hearts, to align connections. While you sleep, I orchestrate. While you wait, I strengthen. While you trust, I provide. You are not forgotten. You are held in the palm of my hand, and no dream that I've birthed in you can be stolen from it. What I begin, I finish. It's time you know this. I delight in your dream. I don't merely allow it, I delight in it, because it was born from our communion. It's not selfish, it's sacred. It was crafted in the quiet moments when you dared to hope. And I was there, nodding, smiling, speaking vision over you even when you couldn't recognize it. Let that truth settle in you now. I am not distant from your dreams. I am their source. I gave them breath. And I am the one who will give them wings. There will be opposition. That's the nature of calling. The enemy knows the power hidden in a person who believes me wholeheartedly, and he will do everything to wear you down. That's why the warfare intensified when you drew closer to purpose. But do not be afraid. I've equipped you with more than you know. I've poured resilience into your bones and fire into your spirit. You are not fragile. You are fortified, not by your strength, but by mine. I am your defender, your sustainer, your advocate, and I have not brought you this far to leave you wandering. There will be doors that open with a whisper, and others that require a shout. Trust me with both. Sometimes I'll bring the answer quietly, almost unnoticed, tucked inside a moment of obedience. Other times, you'll watch walls fall in dramatic display. But whether the miracle is loud or still, it is always mine, and it is always right on time. So do not despise the small beginnings. Do not rush what I am doing deeply. Let the roots grow wide and sure, so when the fruit comes, it will last. Look at yourself now. Still here, still reaching, still hoping, even if your hands shake. That is what I honor. Not perfection, but presence. Not flawless faith, but a heart that turns toward me again and again. You're closer than you think. The soil is shifting. The winds are turning. I am bringing what I promised into view. And when it arrives, you will not say, I made this happen. You will say, only God could have done this. And your joy will be full. You may not realize it yet, but every moment you chose to believe in me instead of giving in to despair became a foundation stone in what I'm building through you. Faith isn't just an internal act, it's a seed, and you've sown many. With every prayer whispered in exhaustion, every act of love when no one was watching, every time you showed up despite the emptiness inside, you were planting something eternal, and I have not forgotten any of it. Not a single seed has been lost in the soil. I have watered each one with my own hand. And now, beloved, it is almost time for harvest. Yes, I said almost, and I know how that word aches when your heart is tired of waiting. But trust me, this almost is not a tease. It's a promise. It means things are in motion even when you can't see them. It means the pressure you're feeling now is not an end. It's a beginning. The contractions before birth always feel like breaking, but they signal that What has been hidden is about to come forth. The dream you thought had died is crowning, pressing through the layers of pain and fear and time. Don't give up here. Don't sit down at the edge of breakthrough. Breathe, hold my hand, and keep pressing forward. I'm not asking you to chase the dream blindly. I'm calling you to follow me with vision. That's different. Chasing feels like striving, like it all depends on you. Following feels like peace, like you're walking with the one who knows the way. I never meant for you to carry this alone. That pressure you've been feeling to make it all happen, that wasn't from me. I lead by still waters, not with fear. Let me carry the weight. Let me show you where to step next. The dream doesn't need your exhaustion, it needs your trust. There will be moments of doubt, even after things begin to bloom. You may find yourself waiting for the other shoe to drop, afraid to believe that something good could truly last. That's the trauma of hope, deferred. But I am healing even that. I am restoring your ability to receive joy without fear. I'm teaching you that joy is not a fragile thing, not something that disappears when you hold it too tightly. It is your strength. And when I give joy, I give it without sorrow attached. You won't have to trade your peace to taste your promise. And what about the fear of failure? I see that too. The part of you that says, what if I try again and it falls apart? But what if it doesn't? What if it works this time, not because the dream changed, but because you did? You've grown. You've healed. You've learned to listen. You've laid down idols of control and pride, and in their place you've taken up humility and endurance. That's the soil dreams grow best in. I am not setting you up to fail. I'm inviting you to fly. You don't have to have all the answers to move. You just need to take the next faithful step. Maybe that's sending the message, writing the plan, picking up the pen, making the call, praying the prayer. It doesn't have to look grand. Often the most sacred breakthroughs begin in ordinary obedience. Don't wait for a sign written in the sky when I've already written it on your heart. You know what I've been stirring in you. The time is near. Walk with me. You're not who you were when you first received the dream. You've shed skin. You've wept bitter tears. You've worshipped when it made no sense. And that transformation matters. I wasn't just preparing a dream. I was preparing a dreamer. And now the vessel is ready. Yes, cracked in places, but those cracks are where my glory will shine through. You'll never take credit for what I'm about to do. You'll never have to pretend to be strong. You'll simply walk in a strength that is not your own, and others will see me in you. There will be people who don't understand. That's okay. You don't need their validation to walk in your calling. Some will question, some will doubt, but the fruit will speak. In time, they'll see that it wasn't ambition that drove you, it was obedience. And obedience always bears fruit. I will bring the support you need. I will place the right voices around you. But even if no one cheers, I will. I already am. I celebrate every small step you've taken in faith, and I rejoice over you with songs louder than any applause. So breathe deeply. The dream is still possible. Not because the road has been easy, but because I have never left you. I have been walking beside you in every detour, lifting you in every fall, and whispering encouragement in every delay. What you carry is sacred, and I will bring it to completion. I always finish what I start. There have been days when the weight of unmet expectations tried to bury your hope entirely. I saw the quiet moments when you stared into space, wondering what went wrong, asking yourself if maybe the dream was just too big, too far, too unlikely. You didn't want to let it go, but holding on felt like a burden rather than a joy. I was with you in those moments too, close enough to catch your sighs, near enough to feel the tremble in your soul. And I want to tell you now, it wasn't wrong to dream. It wasn't wrong to believe. The enemy would have you think that your desire to step into something more was prideful or foolish, but in truth, it was a sign of life. You were responding to my call before you even had words for it. You're not disqualified. That's the lie I need to strip away once and for all. You're not too messy, too complicated, too broken, or too behind. I don't give assignments only to those who seem strong on the outside. I give dreams to those whose hearts are tender enough to carry my heartbeat. You've been listening. Even when you weren't sure if it was me, you kept leaning in. Even when you were hurt by others' silence or dismissal, you kept bringing your heart back to me. That is what faith looks like. Not flashy, not flawless, just persistent love that refuses to grow cold. Let me remind you again, I chose you. Not as a backup plan, not as a substitute, but as my original intention. I don't hand out dreams randomly. I match them with hearts who are willing to be shaped. The fire you've walked through has not burned you. It has refined you. It has melted away what was not eternal, so that what remains is pure and ready. You may not feel ready. That's normal. Readiness is not a feeling. It's a position of surrender. And you are there, even now with your hands open again. I see that. I receive that. And I will honor that. You've asked me for a sign before stepping forward, and I have given you more than one. You've seen encouragement from unexpected places. You've had thoughts and visions that wouldn't leave you alone. You felt a stirring when you heard others speak of similar callings. That wasn't coincidence. It was confirmation. I've been surrounding you with reminders, nudges, small glimpses of what's to come, hoping you would see that I have never stopped speaking. I speak through people, through moments, through impressions in your spirit. And I am speaking now, louder than ever, calling you forward. This next season will not be a repeat of the past. You fear falling back into old patterns, into disappointment, into scarcity. But this time, you'll be walking differently. You won't be running on adrenaline. You'll be walking on grace. The pace will be slower, but the roots will go deeper. You won't be desperate for results. You'll be anchored in me. The dream will not consume you. It will flow from you like breath. Not because the work will be easy, but because the burden will be light. That's what happens when you walk yoked with me. I carry the weight. There is a unique beauty to what I've given you. The dream inside you is not for imitation. It's for impact. You don't need to do it like anyone else. In fact, it won't work if you try to copy what wasn't designed for you. I've given you a particular voice, a specific vision, a heart that beats for things others may not even see. That's not a flaw. That's the signature of your calling. Embrace it. Don't dilute what I've given you to fit into spaces I never asked you to enter. This dream is meant to stretch boundaries, not to be boxed in. I will provide. That fear that there won't be enough, of time, of money, of support, it is rooted in a wound, not in truth. I am Jehovah Jireh, your provider, and where I send you, I sustain you. My provision isn't limited to what you can see right now. I can bring resources out of nowhere. I can align divine appointments in ways you could never orchestrate. All I ask is that you don't limit what I want to do by assuming it must happen a certain way. Stay open. Stay expectant. And you will see doors open in places you never thought to knock. And yes, people will question. Some will misunderstand the timing. Some will think you've changed too much or not enough. Let them think what they will. Your journey is not about explanation. It's about obedience. The fruit will speak. My favor will testify on your behalf. You don't need to defend what I've ordained. Just keep walking, step by step, with me. I'll handle the rest. Now listen closely because this matters. Your dream isn't just about you. It will bring healing to others. It will unlock things in hearts you've never met. It will send ripples into lives and generations beyond your own. That's why the fight has been so intense. That's why the resistance has been so strong. The enemy has always feared what will happen when you believe fully. But he cannot stop what I have ordained. He can only distract. And now, I'm clearing the path. The fog is lifting, the dream is coming into focus again. Let me take you back for a moment to when you first felt that stirring inside you, the one you couldn't explain but couldn't ignore. It might have been a quiet nudge, a vivid picture, a thought that kept resurfacing in prayer. Or maybe it was simply a yearning, a holy ache, for something more than what you could see. That moment wasn't just emotion. It was me. It was my spirit speaking to yours, awakening something that already existed in the eternal design of your life. Before you took your first breath, I had already woven this dream into the tapestry of your purpose. You didn't invent it. You discovered it. You stumbled onto a map I left within you. And every step since then has been drawing you closer to its fulfillment. But I know what has happened along the way. The world taught you to mistrust desire, to make your heart small, to silence your imagination in the name of realism. And in your attempt to be faithful, you feared you were selfish for wanting something so big, so impossible. But I want you to hear me now. What I placed in you is not selfish. It is sacred. It is not about status or applause or visibility. It's about obedience, alignment, and my glory. Flowing through your surrendered yes, you are not chasing ego. You are walking toward destiny. You've also feared that the setbacks were signs you misheard me, that if this dream were truly from me, it wouldn't be this hard. But you must understand, resistance is not always redirection. Sometimes, it's confirmation. The enemy doesn't fight what poses no threat. The difficulty you've faced is not because you are off course, but because you are dangerously close to impact. Every battle you've walked through was a signal to hell that something anointed was on the move. And though you were bruised, you never bowed to despair. That is what made the difference. That is why I can trust you with more. This next chapter will look different. You won't be striving to prove anything, not to me, not to others, not even to yourself. That season is over. The striving has given way to surrender, and surrender will give birth to fruit. You'll build not to be seen, but because the blueprint inside you refuses to stay buried. You'll speak, not to impress, but because the words will burn like fire in your bones if you stay silent. You'll move forward, not because you have every answer, but because peace will surround you like a cloud. And peace is how I lead you now. I've been teaching you to trust my timing, not just in theory, but in practice. And I know how painful that has been. Watching others receive what you've been praying for, showing up faithfully while your own breakthrough remained just out of reach. But I want you to understand something crucial. Delay does not mean denial. I have not withheld from you out of cruelty, but out of care. I was guarding you from building too soon, from opening doors before you were ready to walk through them. I've never said no to your dream. I've simply been preparing you to carry it well. You're more prepared now than you realize. The trials taught you discernment. The silence taught you how to hear me without noise. The loneliness taught you to anchor in me alone. All of it has mattered. And now when the doors begin to open, and they will, you won't walk through them clinging to identity from what you build. You'll walk knowing your identity is secure in me. That is freedom. And that freedom will protect you from burnout, from pride, from every trap the enemy set in former seasons. Because this time, you are not the same. There's a generation waiting on your yes. Not because you're perfect, but because you are willing. Your breakthrough is someone else's permission. Your faith to begin again will light a path for someone still sitting in the dark. I have always worked this way. multiplication, through surrender. And as you take one obedient step after another, you'll find that the dream is not just about reaching a destination. It's about becoming the kind of person who walks in constant communion with me. That was the dream all along. So let go of the fear that says it's too late. Let go of the lie that you're not enough. Let go of the pressure to do it all perfectly. I've never required perfection. Only obedience, only trust, only a heart willing to believe that I still do the impossible. And I do, beloved. I am doing it now. I am making a way. I'm resurrecting what you thought was over. I'm bringing alignment, provision, opportunity, and clarity. And not for your glory, for mine, so that the world may see what I can do through a life laid down, through a dream surrendered, through a soul brave enough to try again. You are not too late. The dream is not too far gone, and I am still the God who finishes what I start. Now that your heart has returned to the place of belief, quiet, trembling, but open, let me pour into you the strength you will need for what comes next. Because while the dream is possible, it will also require persistence. Not the kind that drains you, but the kind that flows from deep conviction and unshakable peace. This dream is not a sprint. It is a walk with me across sacred ground, and I will walk with you every step. No part of this journey will be done in isolation. You're not walking toward a finish line alone. You're walking alongside your Father, who carries what you cannot. I know how the enemy will try to revisit the doorways of your past, dragging along old voices that said you weren't ready, you weren't enough, you didn't fit. He will point to former failures and tell you they disqualify your future. But I already dealt with those accusations. I already covered every shortcoming with grace. Those voices may still whisper, but they have no authority. You are not the same person you were back then. You're healed where you once were raw. You're stronger where you once bent. You have learned to lean on me in ways you never imagined necessary, and that leaning is the very thing that has made you mighty. You will need that posture now, not to fight for approval, but to rest in your identity, because what is coming will not just test your preparation. It will require your confidence in who I say you are. You are my beloved, not because of what you do, but because of who you are. You carry my image. You carry my name. And the dream I've placed within you is born from our relationship, not from ambition. Let that truth be your anchor. When doors open, you don't have to perform. You just need to be present, fully rooted in me. You're going to be surprised by how natural it feels when things begin to fall into place. That's because alignment always carries peace. You won't have to strive for attention. You won't need to beg for validation. Your anointing will make room for you, and the doors I open will remain open, not by force, but by favor. You've waited long enough. You've endured the refining fire, and now your steps will be guided by joy rather than pressure. My spirit will be the wind in your sails, and when opposition comes, and it won't derail you. It will only remind you that you're on the right path. Remember that this dream, though entrusted to you, is bigger than you. It is designed to draw others to me, to reflect my goodness, to bear fruit that remains. So keep your eyes fixed on me, not on the outcomes. I will take care of the results, you just remain faithful. Let your heart stay soft, your hands open, your vision pure. Guard against the temptation to turn this dream into a measure of your worth. You are already worthy because I made you. The dream is an expression of that worth, not its proof. There will be moments where the road curves and the map you envisioned no longer makes sense. That's okay. My plans often unfold in ways you cannot predict. Don't panic when the route changes. Just look for my hand. I promise you'll find it. Whether in divine connections, unexpected resources, or supernatural peace, I am there. I've already gone ahead. I'm setting the table before you, even in the presence of past disappointments. And when the dream begins to grow beyond what you imagined, stay close to me. Don't let success become a substitute for intimacy. Let it deepen your awe. Let every breakthrough become another reminder of my faithfulness. Keep returning to the secret place. Keep laying the dream back down before me again and again, because that's where it will stay alive, not in your control, but in your surrender. I'm proud of you, truly, not just for believing again, but for staying when it was hard, for rising when you wanted to retreat, for letting me hold your heart through the ache. I have cherished your tears as much as your triumphs, and I have watched your character grow deeper than the roots of a mighty oak. This is the kind of vessel I can trust with impact, not because you are flawless, but because you are faithful, and I will be faithful to you. Now lift your head. The time is near. The doors are about to open, not just for a moment, but for a season. You are stepping into the beginning of a dream long awaited. It will not look like what you first imagined, but it will feel even more holy, even more true, even more beautiful. And you will know, beyond all doubt, that I was with you every step of the way. Come closer now. Let me speak this last truth into the deepest part of your soul, the place where fear and faith have wrestled quietly for years. The dream I gave you is still possible, not just in theory, not just as comfort, but in reality. It is possible because I, the Lord your God, have declared it so. I do not tease my children with visions I have no intention of fulfilling. I do not light fires in your spirit just to let them flicker out in the dark. What I begin, I complete. What I promise, I fulfill. And what I breathe into existence cannot be undone, not by time, not by failure, not by the opinions of others, not even by your own doubt. You are standing at the edge of a holy unfolding. The waiting has refined your spirit, the silence has deepened your trust, and the longing has made your faith more beautiful than gold. Now you are ready, not in perfection but in posture, ready to carry the vision not with clenched fists but with open hands, ready to walk with me, not to rush ahead, ready to build what lasts, not what pleases the world. Your dream is not about the applause of many, but the obedience of one. You, walking hand in hand with me. Let go of the shame you've carried for doubting. I never rebuked you for asking, how long? I never turned away when you questioned if you were still seen. Your honesty drew me closer, and now I want you to release every voice that told you your time had passed. Every inner accusation that made you feel foolish for still believing. The world celebrates speed, but I celebrate surrender. The world chases spotlight, but I cherish secret faithfulness. You have been faithful, and I see you. Step into this new chapter with courage, not the kind that denies fear, but the kind that chooses to move through it. You are not the same person who first dreamed. You are wiser, deeper, more aligned with my heart. You no longer need the affirmation of others to validate what I've spoken. You have heard my voice. You know it. And that is enough. Follow it. Trust it. Rest in it. I will not let you stumble. Everything you need will come as it is needed. Provision will meet you on the path. Relationships will align. Wisdom will be released. And where there is resistance, I will be your shield. Where there is confusion, I will be your clarity. You don't have to make the dream happen, I will. You only need to partner with me in faith and keep walking. I go before you, beside you, and behind you. You are surrounded by my favor, and no force on earth can stop what I've ordained. So breathe deep, lift your gaze, let expectation rise. This is not the end of a season. It is the beginning of one you prayed for long ago. The dream is not only alive, it is being resurrected in power, not because of who you are, but because of who I am in you. I do not change. I do not fail. I do not abandon. And I have not changed my mind about you. Say yes again. Say yes with tears in your eyes if you must, but say it with trust. Let me show you what I can do with a heart that believes. Watch me restore the years that felt empty. Watch me pour beauty into the places that once felt barren. Watch me exceed your imagination, not for your fame, but for my glory, so that all may see and know this was my hand, my love, my faithfulness. You are still chosen, you are still called. Your dream is still possible. Amen. Now, my beloved, share this message with someone else who needs to hear it. Let your testimony stir another heart to believe again. For I am doing a new thing, not just in you, but through you.